Blah, 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 blah. I've never seen anyone put their IQ on a CV before. How many of these have you had?
9. 4 in New York, 4 here, and Skype.
Why are you here then?
Well, it's not a very political answer, but I think mediocrity is too well hidden by parents who hire private tutors.
Every successful business is full of people who spent money nurturing unremarkable talent.
I think this is the closest thing to a meritocracy there is. And I only ever want to be judged on the strength of my abilities.
And paid for it. You know how many mountains I'd have to move to get you to London for good?
All right, welcome to Do or Duncy, the only podcast where you can hear all the latest about the drama series industry from too many investment bankers with exactly the same portfolios. I'm one of those PurePoint employees, David Allen, and the others are not here tonight. Now, this is a very special clip show episode of the podcast because this week we are preparing you for the return of the HBO drama series industry. Taking place in London, this series follows a group of young graduates competing for a limited set of permanent positions at a prestigious investment bank, PurePoint. Initially airing in November and December of 2020, we discussed the series over 3 podcasts in January of 2021. That is what you will be hearing tonight. This way, you can catch up for the return of the series next week when it drops on August 1st. Each clip features a discussion of only a few episodes without future spoilers, so you can either watch along with us or use this as a recap of Season 1. Clip 1 is from episode 325, where we discuss the first 2 episodes of Season 1, followed by episodes 3 through 5 from episode 326, and then the final 3 episodes, 6 through 8, from episode 327. Alright, let's get right to it. Get your portfolios out. The market is about to open. It's the first part of our catch-up series on Season 1 of Industry. We're talking about the first 2 episodes here, so we are going to spoil the first 2 episodes of Industry, Induction and Quiet and Nice. They premiered November 9th and November 16th, 2020. This British drama series that was produced by the BBC and aired on BBC Two and HBO follows a group of young graduates competing for a limited set of permanent positions at a prestigious investment bank in London. All right, we all checked this out. Let's start off with Kyle this time. What did you think of Industry?
So I really like the show. First off, it has one good thing already going for it. It's British. I love British stuff. But even so, I mean, we're jumping right in it. The vibe of the show, the feel of it, they're in a hectic situation. You feel like you're in a hectic situation. The directing was really well done. Surprised to see Lena Dunham directed the first episode. But it just, the feel of the show grabs you, it hooks you, and you're going along for the ride. And I really like a lot of the characters, even though they're not probably the best people, but I do like a lot of the characters, especially the lead, Harper. The girl that plays Harper is really, really good, and we're kind of seeing this through her lens. And obviously, we'll talk about the storylines, but she's kind of faking her way through this world, and I feel like we're all kind of just faking it through this world because we're plopped in here and gearing up and going, and it's like, who are these people? What's happening? It's a ride for sure.
Definitely, and it reminds me a lot of Succession. Mm-hmm. It's filling that Succession hole in my heart right now. You got the vibes from that. I would say probably it's a mix of that and maybe Girls. I don't know if that's the right one, but you kind of get like
maybe even Euphoria a little bit.
Euphoria, okay, I could see that. Because we got the kind of the drugs and sex of those,
and they're young college kids.
So it's scratching all those different itches for me. I'm into these first 2 episodes as well. I'm glad, because at first I kind of went in blind with this. I'm like, oh, it'll be our catch up, and it's just like, oh, hopefully it's good. And then these first two so far seem good, so I'm hoping the rest of the series is good. But John, what did you think of it? Are you in on this, or should we throw this one out? What do you think?
Yeah, let's just can it. No, it's been good so far. I'm enjoying it. I had a little trouble picking up on who's who at the beginning, and I think that made it a little bit difficult for me to start liking it. But now that I'm figuring out what roles belong to what person, and you know, even from scene to scene, who's the same person in some cases, I'm starting to enjoy it more. And my biggest question is, and maybe it'll get answered by watching it, but why is it called Industry? Like, I would think it would be called like finances, or you know what I mean? Like, industry to me means more like construction and like, you know, building high rises, not being in them.
I think it's just the like everyone that's in the industry, whatever your industry is, you call it. Like when you're in Hollywood, it's like, oh, are you in the industry? And they're talking about it. Yeah. So I think it's like for them, like like when they're in finance, to them they're like, oh, are you in the industry? It's like I
guess I get that. I don't know. It just seems like a not a strange title, but I don't know if it fits as well as something else. But overall, I thought it's been pretty good so far. I think I need to continue watching it to really grasp onto it and feel it out. But I am okay watching more. We'll put it that way. I'm not throwing it away.
I'm not forcing you. Yeah, all right, that's good. That's good. We got a few more to watch. I will say I was also a little confused at first, like who the people are, who answers to who, because they're all in this bullpen. They're all in this kind of one little area, but the hierarchy is kind of confusing. It's like, okay, I could tell this older guy is Harper's boss. Okay, I got that, but then like, where does he stand? Who is he the higher person up? Because everyone's treated like garbage, because all these kids are kind of these interns on this 6-month trial test to see if they can get a permanent position in this cutthroat world. So they're all treated like garbage. And one I got to bring up right now is Kenny. He's the one that is dealing with, I believe it's Yasmin.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yasmin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's loud, obnoxious, pervy. He's freaking out over croutons he didn't ask for. But like, man, they're at their dinner party in episode 2, and he's just going, F you, F you, F off, F you, just screaming at everyone at the company here. And it's just like, I gotta wonder, it's like, is he like just a coordinator, a manager of these people? Like, he must be high up, because if this happened in any other spot here, the director at the front of the table, the VP or whatever, is like, we're talking Monday morning here, Kenny. Yeah. We're going to get your act together, because, I know it's a stressful job, but guess what? You gotta show a little dignity here.
Yeah, I think in my mind, it's like, so you have Harper's boss, Eric, and then the girl to her left. So if Eric was like the director, the girl to her left would be like the manager, and then she would be like the, you know, so it's like this almost like middle. But so Kenny, in relation to Eric, they're on like the same level, I think. So they're fighting amongst each other because, right, they're all working in sales and stuff. So they're kind of fighting with each other in this same world. So that's kind of how it breaks down to me. So when Eric tells Kenny to go home, it's kind of like, it's just like
not his boss. It's just a coworker.
Yeah, it's just a coworker saying go home. And he's like, how dare you tell me how I'm gonna talk to my person that I hired, right? So I don't know.
I get that. It's just at the same party we had Gus, who is one of these interns, these newbies. He's speaking up to whoever was at the head of the table, pretty much acting like he's the superior one, saying like, oh, like, what's happening with my job? You can't make that happen. It's just like, wait a minute. He doesn't have a care or worry, I thought, talking to the person that was leading this dinner. So
I got the impression, maybe I'll have to watch back, because he does do an interview, but I got the impression that Gus, that character, was like almost like mid-level management.
I don't know.
I think he's in
I
the
think
same...
you're right, but
He was working. He was
Yeah.
working right with Harry. No.
Yeah, the guy that died.
They were
Yeah,
like-
it totally
they were
makes
like-
sense.
Yeah, so
I just got the feeling from.
I think he was just in like a different department,
yeah.
and because I think he was like, oh, we're gonna move you to sales or whatever, and that's why he was like freaking out. He's like, no, I'm not. I signed up for this. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. And it's just like, again, you're a 6-month trial person here. You can't really be,
And I think part of the reason why they're disbanding that department was because Harry
Harry.
died in
Yeah.
the first episode, and I think that the boss that they're under is being her ability to lead is kind of being called into question
Yeah.
because she was talking to them about you have to visibly go to these seminars and leave on time and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah. I want to talk. I want to talk about Harry because this guy working really hard, staying 24/7, getting in trouble for doing it. And I was really sad because I'm watching this first episode and I'm like, of all these characters so far, I like this one. I like this guy. I feel for him when he's freaking out over that font, on one page.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been in this situation. The dumb, going crazy over the smallest of details that nobody would notice. And I figured at some point he would have kind of what happened to him in episode 1. I thought that was going to be like, oh, episode 7. Not expecting it in the first episode that we were going to lose Harry here. I liked him. I really liked him. But yeah, the kicker of the whole thing, well, the meeting got pushed anyway. So.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. And I wonder if anybody would have noticed the font change.
I don't think so.
I didn't even see it when they showed it to us. So.
Yeah, but yeah, rest in peace, Harry, man. Another character we should probably spend a little bit of time on here is the main character, Harper. She's kind of like the leader, or at least the protagonist that we're seeing the most of in industry so far. She is a graduate of Binghamton University, kind of near my hometown. So that was nice to kind of get that weird shout out, even though as we later see, she didn't go to Binghamton University.
Well,
she doesn't have a transcript. Well, she might have went. She didn't have a transcript.
She has the sweatshirt. She has the sweatshirt.
She went on the online store, got a sweatshirt, got a fake transcript from somebody that she has kind of Skype sessions with. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's like an old boyfriend or something.
Yeah. It's a Lena Dunham show, so I don't know what or at least that first episode was. So, lots of nudity and sex so far in industry. Some full frontal, some oral sex in there, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it was a little bit a lot with the sex, but that's HBO for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna. There's definitely gonna be something here with one of the clients we see in the first episode. She's Harper's very bright. She's a go-getter. She's getting a lot of confidence with some of her successes here. And one of them, she goes to a dinner, meets with somebody. They're in a cab ride home, and she's violated by this other woman here, and it's a very hard subject to navigate, especially for somebody, so young and being in this new position and trying to move up in the world. So I'm sure that's definitely going to come back later on. Sure. And
just like the Binghamton thing is going to come back. Going back to the Binghamton thing, when she was uploading the transcript, I thought she stopped it and then uploaded the photo of her with a burger.
I don't know about the
right.
No.
That's the way it seemed to me. That's the way it seemed to me. I was like, what
she was uploading it on her computer and she stopped it, but then later, after she had her success, she uploaded it. She uploaded it again, but
I
was
thought
right
she
after she took the picture of her with the burger.
Okay.
No. She stopped it earlier and then made that sale, and then later.
Yeah. Okay. I thought she did it as like a joke, like a big F
Here's
you.
my
Like, here's me.
Yeah.
I'm a big deal now. Look at this.
Yeah. So she submitted a fake transcript. So again, that's definitely gonna come back there. Let's see. Harper is also looking for a roommate, new situation. She's looking for somewhere to sublet, and finds it with Yasmin. She's going to. She's stuck up for her at the big dinner party there with Kenny. She has her own set of issues. Kyle, you want to take the lead on this one?
Who? Yasmin?
Yeah.
Well, she's got some boyfriend problems. She's got some work problems. I'm guessing she's a little older too by the conversation she had with the guy when she was getting the lunches, right? So I'm getting this, and the discussion she had with her mom. I think she's a little older than some of the other people working, other grads that are working. So for her, it's a little different. She's working for a D-bag, but she is not content with her relationship. And
What makes you say that? Just kidding.
and she wants the Robert, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, I
Robert,
so.
who is apparently the bad boy of this group, just doing lines of coke in the bathroom, and partying all night.
And doing something similar to a random girl he meets at a bar.
Yes.
To what the second episode ends on.
Yes.
We all get a photo of the incident sent to Robert. That might come around too. Who knows what's gonna cycle back around.
And can I just go back to that? Is she dumb enough? She's right under the light, and she's gonna have the flash on her camera.
Flash on.
Like, how dumb are you?
Did we have the noise too? Yeah. First of all, put your phone on silent. You know, it's just
When she was reaching for her phone, me and the person I was watching with thought she was reaching for her peanut butter sandwich. We both thought she was gonna go grab the sandwich. We were like, "Why is she doing that now?" But she went and grabbed the phone because she's making the peanut butter sandwich.
George Costanza combining all of his favorites in there.
Oh man. But yeah, so that is gonna. She's clearly not happy, I think, with her mom, with her boyfriend, or anything, and she is teasing the hell out of this Robert dude who wants it. Big time. He's watching her at the gym, and then cycling harder, like that's gonna impress her. Oh my God. But she is definitely teasing the crap out of him. So that's gonna be interesting. That's not gonna be good. And let's just say the what she was doing, getting down on the kitchen counter. Don't know if I was like, where's the mom? Isn't the mom gonna like walk around the corner? And secondly, she's not gonna be able to do that with Harper living there. Yeah.
Then again, Harper, when she went to visit one sublet, the room that they're all painting white, does make a joke that she doesn't mind a certain. I don't know how to say this without it being TVMA, but like. Is okay with random guys and their stuff walking around. So
that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
But a lot of these characters are setting themselves up for bad news. It's going to come back to haunt a lot of these people, and we can see it, and I don't know if they can see it, but
yeah. So we're gonna keep going. I think we're all invested in industry.
Yeah. I'm. Like, what are we doing? 2 at a time here?
Next week we're gonna do 3.
All right, cool.
We're gonna do 3.
'Cause I'm gonna have a hard time not binging this like all at once.
Okay.
You know?
Wow.
I really
all right.
like it.
All right. Well, we saw episode 3 of Industry, season 1. We're catching up on it. Notting Hill, Sesh, and Learned Behavior. We're actually talking about episodes 3 through 5 tonight. They aired in November and December of 2020 on HBO. This British drama series follows a group of young graduates competing for a limited set of permanent positions at a prestigious investment bank in London. Every week we're doing a few episodes. Last week we discussed episodes 1 and 2. This week 3 through 5, and then next week we'll finish it off. A lot to do. This is always tough when we do these kind of multiple episodes. I think it's always best to go by character, kind of see what they've been doing in those 3 episodes. But I just want to get your initial thoughts, Kyle. These 3 episodes, are you still in? You like what you're seeing with Industry?
I still like the show a lot. I kind of took a step back with the show because some of these things that happen in this show are just absurd. It's just absurd. I can't even take it serious. But I still like the show. The characters are what brings it around because they're young and you're like, what are you doing? But also then you're like, this would never happen. So it's just like, you got to suspend your disbelief, but I absolutely, I really dig the show a lot. I love it.
Bubbles gives me a perfect transition to my first character. I want to talk about Harper, and Bubbles said, it's entertaining, but I effing hate Harper so much. Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm surprised by that
feelings.
one. I have other ones that I have some issues with.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear. So if she can type in the chat why she doesn't like Harper, I'm all for
we'll go through
that.
Harper here. Dealing with a lot of work stress. She's getting a project from one manager, making her fall behind with Eric. But I think the moment I want to talk about was kind of this incident she had, 50 quid versus $50. And that mistake. God. She just kept making it worse and worse. She didn't tell anyone. But man, there was this sequence that it was so stressful. She's chewing gum, a lot of gum, and she just sees it goes. Oh, go ahead.
I said, mind you, she's recovering from a bender, you know.
Yeah. And she sees it. It's like, okay, it's positive 30. It can go up. If it keeps going, I can, salvage this. And then all of a sudden it just starts dropping and it's at negative 140 and she's chomping away. And we're just watching numbers on the screen. But man, I was like on the edge of my seat with this moment here.
The worst part? The worst part about that is they reveal a little bit later after she hems and haws, and spoiler, obviously, about telling her boss. They reveal later that she just got bailed out and it meant nothing. That was the worst part to me. They just, no worries. It's all good. We made a ton of money off of it. Don't worry. It's like, what? How could you do that? I don't know.
No consequences for almost losing $140,000 as a glorified intern at a prestigious financial industry.
Eric lets it go and then also reveals that he called Binghamton University and was like, hey, I know you're lying. And still letting her keep her job there for the time being.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Bubbles is going off in the chat here about why, first of all, she says she hates them all, to be fair, but oh my God, she makes the worst choices I could give her for that one at the start, but she keeps going. Oh my God. Not to mention, when they found out she's not even qualified.
So now we have to assess where Harper's at. She's now indebted to the woman that she went and saw who groped her. We now have her indebted to the dude she's working with that possibly has some kind of something happen. Either Me Too or some. I'm questioning that he didn't get like Me Too'd earlier or something because clients don't like him and he has a reputation in the office. So something happened that we're just not sure with Eric yet. So she's indebted to that guy and she still lacks the educational experience. So you're indebted to two people and you don't have education. Dude, you really you're not setting yourself up for success.
I mean, then she also, the person that made the fake document visits her. She kicks him out of the place there. That doesn't end well. And the person she's staying with, she's indebted to her as well, Yasmin. Yeah. We could talk about her now, her relationship with Harper at least, then we'll get to Robert. But Yasmin and Harper, I was a little confused at first because episode 3... we could see she was jealous of Harper. She's moving past her at work. Yasmin's stuck doing mostly small little stuff, getting salads. She's not really a part of it. Harper's pitching things, attending meetings. Plus, she's hearing Harper upstairs in her own place. Well, I guess her parents' place, but letting Harper stay there. Hearing Harper up there having sex with strangers. It's like, I'm going to force you to pay rent now.
Yeah.
Episode 4, I feel like it all goes away. Even closer to Harper, she's throwing her a party, getting her gifts. It was just like, did I miss something? I almost thought like, did I miss an episode? Am I on 5 instead of 4? I just thought like,
they feel like almost frenemies rather than friends. It's like they because even when we go to the last episode that we watched, like Yasmin comes into her room and she's obviously clearly going through something and Harper doesn't even stay awake. She's just like, oh, here. So I don't really think that there's any like really, I don't know what the friendship there is. It seems like a frenemy situation. There doesn't seem really a supportive or nurturing or actual like caring about each other at all.
Yeah, it's hard to read that. Bubbles is also confused by that relationship. And the other one that's really confusing with Yasmin is Yasmin and Robert. Yasmin has some preferences.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that here. I'm going to run through a few, and then we'll focus on one specifically. She's coming on to Robert at the gym. There's no word spoken. Just forces him to run faster on the treadmill. Then at some party, she puts a balloon in her mouth before giving it to him to blow into. And
then
we'll get to that. We'll get to that one.
God.
She gives him her underwear and asks for a photo of him wearing these on his face.
Interesting.
The one that was like episode 5. She sends him some photos, and it looks like he sent back a video of him masturbating to those photos. And then it's played on the Bluetooth speakers in the house.
But oh my god! But then there's still another twist in this whole that whole situation. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that I can think of with this relationship is, I mean, they both clearly want each other, but I think it comes down to they like the chase, or she certainly likes the chase more than the actual, I guess, like physical component. And also, if we're looking at it in terms of power, she has zero power at work, and she has complete power over this dude, and she is getting off on it literally and figuratively. So I think that's where it comes from. She has no power, and she knows that she has this power over somebody, and I guess for her that's got to be a little bit thrilling and clearly, I guess.
Yeah, but man, her boyfriend is so boring and such a dead face, like nothing. And it's just, I really thought when they were playing on the Bluetooth, it was going to be much worse, and we're going to hear like names.
Yeah.
We're going to hear like, oh,
there was no conflict. He's just like, oh, all right, they're watching something. All right, whatever. Like,
well, he has his own issues with videos. He's falling asleep.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
To a cam girl there, and then this other thing where at this party, she gives a hand job to the boyfriend with the rubber gloves on in the kitchen, and there's so much public displays of affection in this place. It's just in this house specifically. I mean, Harper and the boyfriend just going at it on her friend's parents' table. It's not even her friend's place. It's her. Like at any point, anybody could walk in.
Yeah.
It's like you have a room upstairs. Go upstairs.
Yeah. Well, that's not as exciting, Dave.
Oh.
It could get walked in on any moment. That's the excitement of it.
Gus, when he goes drunkenly over to some executive's place there.
I was like, what?
They're going at it with an open door in the house.
And they're not being silent.
No.
I'm like, who could not hear this? This is ridiculous. Oh my God. Yeah, that was bad. That was the one I was more like, dude, you gotta be more subtle than this. You guys are being loud as hell.
Yeah. Wow. She's got a lot going on, Yasmin. It's just with Robert, and we get a little bit with Kenny in this last episode here.
Dude, I think he might be the
worst.
Yeah, he's like everything that we wish about guys would just go away like that.
Yeah, Kenny finally gets kind of some, crap delivered back at him from his boss. He's talking loud and being a show off and stuff, and then the boss kind of brings him back down to reality. And Yasmin actually kind of impresses the main boss there with, hey, I actually set up a client meeting. And of course, Kenny has to come to this. And it starts off okay. He's apologizing to her, but drunk Kenny at it again, making a scene. And just like, dude, like, how does this guy still have a job?
and
Yeah,
then
I know.
they go to a strip club.
Yeah. And I don't know why Yasmin didn't leverage that relationship more.
Yeah.
you have this dude who works for a company that's sought after, and you're not leveraging. I would screw Kenny. I'm going right over your head, buddy boy. I mean, she's just. I think that's the difference for the
doesn't
women
have
in
the
women
confidence
in this industry.
yet
Yeah.
compared to Harper, because Harper is willing to pretty much do a meeting without at least turning to her female manager, telling her about it, because the alert comes on the computer. Oh, actually, that's a mistake. Don't worry about it. Don't show up to that one. And then, surprise, she does end up deciding to go. And Eric is like, how did, he starts freaking out at Harper for letting that happen. She's willing to kind of do these kind of secretive meetings and, kind of step on people. Yasmin is not doing that yet. She just doesn't have, I don't know, whether it's the confidence or the drive or whatever it is, just to do that. But yeah, a lot going on. Not too much, I feel like, with Gus. He's working now for Eric. And there was at least a moment when Eric was out of town or out of the office. And
wait, no, he's not working for Eric. I thought he was working for the Roberts dude. I thought they were teaming up together.
I thought it was Eric, because at least he was answering Eric's phones at some point on the floor. And that was the whole issue with
I think
Eric yelling at him.
I think he went to report to Eric, and Eric was like, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with you." And he kind of pushed him off towards Robert a little bit.
And then Eric was upset because he answered his phone and made a deal when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. So I mean, he's at least getting called out for some of them, because I feel like Gus at various points, I mentioned it last week, where again, somebody it seems even more higher up in the company, because she's the woman that he kind of told off at that grad dinner. Turns out to be someone high in the company, because she comes in, walks right into the big board meeting and is like, hey, don't talk about this article that's, in the press about people leaving. Don't mention that. So like Gus is always kind of talking above his pay grade, and he finally at least gets called out here by Eric. But yeah, a lot going on. We got 3 more episodes to watch. I know Kyle's in. John, I didn't really get your initial thoughts. How are you liking Industry?
I think it's going well. I'm having the issue where if you ask me what happened in a specific episode, I don't know if I would know. I'm kind of getting the movement as things are going on and the developments that are happening, but I don't know if there's anything distinct that really grounds my time frame. And I think that's my biggest issue. But yeah, I'm in for another 3 at least. I'll finish the season.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I mean, when he asked me about what deals they're actually making and the finance stuff, I have no idea. No idea what's happening. But I can kind of piece together, it's like, oh, this person works at least under this person. That person's mad at that person. Okay, I could figure that out at least. The basics, the bare basics. It's like the MCU over here with how this all comes together. But yeah, 3 more episodes to watch. We'll finish it off next week. The catch-up continues, episodes 6 through 8, and then we'll have... Oh.
No, I was just going to say, did you have any predictions for where things are going?
I mean, I would at least think at the 8th episode, we got to hear at least... maybe they'll cliffhanger us, but like we got to hear who's coming back, who's going to get the position. I could definitely see some kind of tragic end for somebody. Like, I don't think... We're not... Maybe, I mean, it would be crazy if it's Harper, I feel like, because she's kind of like the lead of the show, but I mean, we could probably stand to lose Gus. I mean, again, we didn't have that much to say this week about him. I feel like there has to be something. Yasmin and Robert have to just get together already. Even Harper calls it out. Just get together. But
I think that's gonna be bad news, though. I don't think they're.
No.
I think it's going to be like a passion thing. And I'm really wondering what's happening with Eric. I could see Eric getting the kick, and then Harper kind of, as an initiative for the company, like, oh, look, we're pushing younger people. She's black, she's a woman. Like, we're striving towards
changing the environment of the company that is so toxic, as the article points out.
So Eric could, from what I think, he's got some shady stuff that we're gonna find out, and then he's gonna get pushed to the curb. especially with this Phelim thing, because wasn't Phelim the dude that made all the money for him? So, if that dude left and that guy and Eric's not bringing in cash anymore, you could see him going away.
We're going to finish up Industry Season 1 here. The 3 episodes we're talking about tonight are Nutcracker, Pre-Crisis Activity, and Reduction in Force. They all aired on HBO in December of 2020. 2 weeks ago, we discussed episodes 1 and 2. Last week, we did 3 to 5. Tonight, this is it, episodes 6 through 8. So, of course, spoilers through the finale. This British drama series was produced by the BBC and aired on BBC Two and HBO, and it follows a group of young graduates competing for a limited set of permanent positions at a prestigious investment bank in London. All right, Kyle, what do you think? There's a lot to talk about tonight. We'll definitely talk about the finale.
A lot to unpack.
Overall thoughts of these 3 episodes. Did you like how it ended? You ready for season 2?
I am ready for season 2. I like the show overall. I was kind of like I don't know, the ending was kind of depressing, honestly. The last episode was kind of depressing because it's the end of their journey and they don't really know what's going to happen after that. But just the decision making of some of the characters, especially Harper, who you feel like you're on their side and then you just don't understand the thought process, and we can and I want to delve into all these characters.
We will, one by one.
Just my overall general thoughts is like it was really, it felt like a step back for some of the characters, or maybe a revelation of who they truly are. I don't know, but overall, I do like the show. I do think it's over the top. I do think some of the sex scenes are either not needed or just too long. I mean. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Overall, it's fine. I recommend it. It might not be for everyone, that's for sure. But I do enjoy the characters and I enjoy the show.
Yeah. All right, John. Real quick, what do you got?
I think I mostly agree with Kyle. I think I have the same opinion I did last week. As I kind of don't. If you ask me what week did this or what episode did this scene happen in, I don't know if I could tell you. You know what I mean? I can kind of tell you where in the story it happened, but if you ask me, what scene, what episode did the boyfriend stab his hand with a knife? Like, I think it was 7, but I feel like the time doesn't matter almost. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to follow when your sense of time, my sense of time anyway. I can't pinpoint where things are, but. Yeah, overall, there's some drama, so it's exciting. You want to know what's going on. I agree that Harper's making some terrible decisions. I mean, everyone's making terrible decisions, but specifically Harper, I think, is making some terrible decisions. And I would consider watching more next season. I want to see kind of where it goes and how the finale pans out. There's some big decisions made at the end of that episode. So
yeah, Kyle and I. When we both saw the finale and talked about it off air, we both said, Bubbles was right. Last week, Bubbles on the podcast was saying, not a fan of Harper. I was like, I don't know, let's give her a chance kind of thing. And she just posted in the chat, just popping in to say, I still effing hate Harper. Just showed up tonight, Bubbles, for that. But let's start off with Harper here. A lot to unpack with her, kind of our main character in industry. Eric, a bunch of trouble here for locking Harper in a conference room, and it kind of snowballs these last 3 episodes, really. Daria, her other boss, sees this, starts, kind of helping her, because Eric wants her to go to the party, but she's like, no, she's working at the desk. She can't do it, so he pulls, Harper from the situation. She's over there at the Christmas party instead, working at the desk. Does meet Eric's wife at the party. She stopped over, and you kind of see a little bit more of Eric. There's an exchange, which I can't say any of it on the podcast, but back and forth to each other playfully. They were F off C word to each other, so that's a interesting marriage. But Eric's trying to make up for it all. Huge bonus for Harper, $50,000 instead of the $25,000 everyone else got. Told not to say anything about it. Of course, immediately says it.
Immediately.
Stupid. Stupid.
It's not even like she told one person, was like, oh yeah, I got a nice bonus.
Yeah,
she told everyone just to show them up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, just zip it. You could have went out here with that extra 25,000. But what did you think of this moment, Kyle? I mean, obviously between the conference room and then when they do have to let Eric go, she has to sign an NDA. It's a complicated situation.
Yeah. I think on her behalf, she's feeling torn between the situation where she's made to feel special despite the abuse, right? And she liked that feeling of being special, but the consequences of that is you might get locked in a room with some dude that you don't know what's going to happen to you. And it's like, are you willing to put up with that? Or do you like the bonus and everything that comes along with that? So I think we see that kind of unfolding, and we see not only the pressure that Eric's on her, but the company itself. Could you imagine a head of a giant corporation coming to you and being like, you need to sign this right now? And it's like, well, didn't she say, don't I have time to like look this over? Like, what's going on? Like, especially
someone starting at, the ground level. And it's like, this could affect the rest of my life, put a little asterisk by my name for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
I want to point out, just because there's something that the show will do, and there's a great example of this when Harper goes to like a convenience store, sees Eric just out and about with his family or whatever, and you think something's about to happen. You think they're going to get into a confrontation, and nothing happens. And I feel like the show has done this quite a few times, it's starting to annoy me a bit. Like we talked about, I think last week with the sex sounds on the Bluetooth. All right, this is going to be big. This is going to be important. They're going to screw up here. This is going to be a big... No. Yasmin drunkenly calls her boss which, I mean, I don't blame her, because I hate when they go like, I got to talk to you on Monday about something. And it's like, well, can you talk to me about it now? It's Friday. No, it's not Friday material. I'll talk to you on Monday. It's like, so the whole weekend come on, like you're on the edge of your seat. But she calls and you're like, oh, this is going to be big. And then when they finally meet up, it's like, yeah, I don't check my voicemail. It's like, come on, like every time you think there's going to be something. They just go like halfway, half measure. They don't go all the way. And it's just, they're just teasing.
Yeah. But in reality, with that whole crew that Yasmin's working with, she probably could have said everything she wanted, and the guy would have been like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just with the operation they're working with. I don't know where you wanted to go with Harper. Did you still? Well,
yeah, I was gonna, because we got right up to Riff here, I believe, because she's spiraling. She is right before Riff, the big kind of presentation at the end to get that permanent position. She's seeing Harper. Harper is seeing Yasmin talk with Daria, and she's like, "Wait, what's going on here? What's this happening?" And asks Daria about it. Well, tells Harper this environment may not be good for what you're going through, because she's seeing Harper is spiraling. She's under stress. She's maybe not right for this world. And Harper immediately in the elevator in front of everyone is, well, you put me in a spot where I got sexually assaulted. It's like, whoa, like, and. So a lot of things is coming to a head here. She's really on edge, and we get this dinner with kind of someone up high in the company, and you think it's just the two of them, but then surprise, Eric's here too, and they ask her to retract her statement. So it'll be beneficial for all of us here. It'll be beneficial to you, Harper. They mostly don't want to lose Eric's accounts, because these people only trade with Eric. If Eric leaves, he takes that money with him. So retract these statements. And then there's a new scapegoat in Daria. What did you think about all this going down, Kyle, between Eric coming back, Daria getting let go?
So there's three things that I want to point out. So the first being, she's spiraling out of control. We get Gus, who goes to comfort her. I mean, I guess it makes sense because the other guy died next to him, but we've never seen them interact before, whatever. My whole thing with this is that clearly Harper's decision-making is being impacted by the fact that something happened to her brother. And if it's impacting her that much, we as the viewer need to know what that is. And if it's impacting so much and we have no clue what happened with her brother, we know something, that there needs to be more information for the viewer, because that's not enough, because it's clearly impacting. They bring it up before the episode 8 with the season's episode 7 recap. So clearly it's impacting her thinking. We need to know more as the viewer. Otherwise, it's just like this
mysterious
apparition,
MacGuffin over there.
Mysterious thing. Okay. Daria is then talking to Harper, because in Daria's mind, she's trying to create this utopia where, everyone feels comfortable. But in reality, what it looks like is Daria has now usurped the role of Eric, and I'm now Eric, and I'm telling you what is good and what's not, and you're now threatening my money because you're accusing somebody that I'm making money from. Okay, so really, if I was Harper, I'm like, I go from Eric, who I'm good with, and now it's Daria, who's
sometimes I'm good with, sometimes I'm not.
Yeah. It's like I'm on this wishy-washy thing. I don't like. It's the same situation. There's a power struggle here. And then I forgot the last thing, of course, 'cause my brain.
I'll add one.
But
she's making these really bad decisions, and instead of coming forward to somebody about the assault that she had with the other person, she uses it as leverage with Daria, and it's just like, is that really what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? Is use that as leverage and pushing power? And it's just like, the only thing you have to, the only reason you would do that is for personal gain. It kind of, that really kind of solidified for me that she's not in it for anything but her. She's not great.
The exact culture that Daria talks about wanting to get rid of, I think that's the culture that Harper feels like she can thrive, or like that's where she's meant to be. And I think the point that I was going to make is that the show in general gave Harper and this grad assistant a lot of power, because not only did Eric, who's like a major part of the company, gets fired, but now we're flip-flopping, and now she's fired somebody else who's part. It's like, how does this graduate student who
an intern
don't know if we're going to hire or not has this much power? I know there's a lot of other things with like the culture and people died and that expose and everything, but to me as a company, I would cut my losses and be like, Eric's gone, the girl that worked under is gone, we'll start over new and we'll deal with it.
Because there's so many other lawsuits and issues that could come through. I mean, Harper says Daria had her own agenda and pressured her into saying something that isn't true, but it was true. And so it's like she's pointing fingers every which way. And for Harper, sure, like as you mentioned, another grad died. There's an expose out, but they're doing a lot just to keep Harper. When I feel like Daria could be a PR nightmare because she was wrongfully let go.
Yep.
Eric has some other bad issues. I mean, keeping any of them is bad. It's just the whole department. Just let's clean sweep. Get him out. But we mentioned Yasmin a little bit, and we'll talk about the relationship with Yasmin and Harper. Because I never fully got the relationship. I think I mentioned it last week. Yeah. Episode 3, it ended. So Yasmin hated Harper. I'm gonna charge you for rent now. I'm annoyed by the sex sounds I'm hearing. Episode 4 comes along. We're best friends. And it doesn't end here. I mean, it doesn't end well here, because any success I have doesn't come at a cost to you. That's what Yasmin said to Harper over this big fight they have at the end of the episode here, where, again, as John kind of pointed out, Harper's in it for herself here. It's all about her. And we get this final shot of the finale where you see Harper holding the book that Yasmin did get her at that party in episode 4, talking about our future. Well, I don't know what that future is going to be in season 2, because it didn't end well here.
And what Harper says to, I forget the quote, but what Harper says to Yasmin is true as well. I mean, about her being like basically just being walked all over. And I think Harper resents Yasmin because Yasmin has everything that Harper's never had, because Harper got money in her bank account and she doesn't even know what to do with it because she's so scared. And Yasmin is buying her mom's wine at an expensive restaurant. It's just like, and paying for the whole party for her boyfriend, you know? So it's these things that Harper doesn't have that Yasmin does have. And just the other point I want to make about Yasmin is that whole relationship with Robert. They want each other. Robert and Yasmin, they want each other, but it's only sexually, because after that moment that they have in wherever it was, in the locker room or wherever, they're trying to make Robert's trying to make small talk because he's legitimately like, I kind of like this girl. And she's just like, you're weird, you're stupid. And that's because Robert comes from the background that Harper does. He came from nothing and now he's trying to make it. And so Harper and Robert have this like emotional connection in real life. And Yasmin and Robert just have like this kind of sexual vibe going on. And then Yasmin's taking advantage of that by, that's where she gets all her power. That's where she only feels powerful.
Yeah, you brought that up earlier and I thought that was a great point. Like you could tell when she is in that like sexual position, she just is like a different person. And we see the snap, we see the break when Robert and her finally hook up at the Christmas party in that locker room. And, you know, it's going to be hard to dance around it, but she gives a command to him saying, you know, eat it. And he immediately questions her and he's like, what? And she immediately drops her act. She's like, oh, sorry. And like she becomes that not naive, but like the person we see working alongside Kenny.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just, you see that 180 change right there. And as you said, she gets her power from kind of that dominance in any of these relationships. Until finally, when she does get the position at Pier Point, Kenny comes over to give her a handshake. F off. So
yeah,
she's got it now. At least it seems that way. Yeah. She throws a party at her place, or I guess her parents' place. Invited all the grads, including Robert. Tells Harper she's over him, but doesn't stop her from asking, "Why are you here?" to him at the party. She dances and stares him down. But the moment
awkward moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And what I want to talk about though is we get a moment between Yasmin, Harper, and Robert. Almost.
A moment. A moment.
And again, she was a little bossy. Harper.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you go down there? It's just like, and Harper's like, excuse me, like, you know. So, I don't know. Is there? I mean, really anything between? I mean, you mentioned it between Robert and Yasmin. I mean, the night before Riff, Robert's like, hey, you know, what are you gonna do if you don't see me again? You kind of thing. She's like, well, it depends on who sits in your seat. You've been fun, Robert.
Yeah, no, it was all just a power. All these people are seriously flawed in many ways, and I mean, I guess it's just like any human being, but they're taking advantage of people. I mean, Harper's taking advantage of Yasmin. Yasmin is taking advantage of Robert. And yeah, I don't. All they have is like this sexual connection, and I think it's Yasmin likes the power, and I mean, I think she thinks Robert is like fun, I guess, but by her reactions to him trying to make small talk and like have a conversation with her, she doesn't care about this dude.
No, I think part of that too is, you know, people who are kind of abused have a tendency to continue that trend, and I think maybe what she's feeling subordinate in the office, she has an outlet to be dominant somewhere else, and I think that's really funneling that energy from the office through her into Robert, and I think that is fueling it a lot too. And I think part of her getting accepted and maybe not having that pressure means she doesn't need to potentially exert it on somebody else. So that might also be a reason why this kind of is coming to an end potentially. But
I think we can all agree that she should have gotten rid of that boyfriend like episode 2. Man.
Episode 1, I was saying it on the podcast. And thankfully she got rid of that blank face McGee over there where it's just, Jesus, this guy is just boring. And like, And also, Out of Bounds, coming on the day of Rift, this big event for her. It's like, come on, dude, read the room. This is not the time to do this. Wait till tomorrow. Yeah. Like, she's busy today. But let's see. I just want to quickly talk about the two guys. I mean, really, I think this show is about Yasmin, Harper, those characters. But we do have Robert here. He had this moment. He was doing drugs in the bathroom, and there was a funny moment of the three guys trying to become two legs in the bathroom stall. But man, I mean, again, anything flies in this office. Anything goes. But like, can you be a little less obvious? Because clearly you're in front of the company. You're on the floor effing around, just playing around, doing different things. But when all three of you guys see that there's somebody in the bathroom, and then you all decide at the same time to walk by that person and leave the stall, I don't know, maybe A, take turns, or B, just wait 30 seconds for that guy to leave and then walk out. Yeah. Why do you want to be seen in front of an executive? Yeah. Like, I don't know. But
yeah, it was dumb.
Gets a bloody nose during his Rift video.
Which was ironic because he was sober for a bit, wasn't he? He was sober at that point. Or no?
He was trying to be.
Maybe. I can't remember. The time frame is a little weird because they did the Christmas holiday and stuff. But the high up executive still liked him. Daria called him worthless. So at the end here, I was a little confused. I maybe John can help out. Did he get the position? I didn't seem like he got it because at a point with Harper, when the eyes are on Harper, she looks over to him. He's shaking hands. Yasmin's shaking hands. And so it's making it look like in Harper's eyes, everyone's getting this position but me. Where's my phone call? So I couldn't tell. But then the moment of him like riding the motorcycle, first of all, I thought he was going to crash. I thought that was going to be the ending moment here of him crashing. But it didn't seem like a happy ending for Robert here. Did he get a position at your point? Did I miss it?
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not entirely sure. I think it seemed like the one of the guys in the office was saying there's people that's going to relate to him, and that's all that matters. Yeah. So
maybe a decision hasn't been made yet.
Maybe it either hasn't been made yet, or maybe somebody went over the woman who was making his immediate their immediate supervisor went over their head and said yes, and he's in, but it hasn't been made clear to the audience. I'm really not sure. That was one of the only people who I was like, I'm not really sure which way he's going.
Yeah. Well, we know one person who didn't get it, Gus, telling him F off in the Rift speech, pretty much. I mean, practically. The little bet there he did. The thing with Gus I want to bring up is he's been with that other executive there, and they're at the Christmas party, and he meets the executive's wife that he's kind of been cheating on, and they look at each other, and they're like, hey, the way you look at him, there's something going on. You know him better than you think, because two people don't look like that, if they're just friends. So already she has red flags. So right there, I would have been, if I was Gus, hey, maybe I should be cool tonight. Maybe I shouldn't do anything. If someone's raising a red flag, what do? They go F in the bathroom, and then when they come down in the elevator that opens up to the party, they have to be on top of each other. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, can you just 6 feet apart in the elevator just for a second? Yeah. So when it opens, the wife doesn't see it.
The wife said she was going to get drinks. How long do they think they have?
I don't know.
Like Gus knew that.
A long line. But,
long line.
But the exec kind of leading him on because he's like, oh, well, let's do a weekend together. And then it's like, oh, well, I'm busy that weekend and busy then. Well, we'll find a date. It's just like, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, for me, that was a character I feel like, I guess he was just such a side character. It never really connected with Gus. I wanted to get more of Gus. I just never really connected with him. I thought this show was very strong with Yasmin and Harper. But
yep, I feel the same exact way.
Anything to look forward to? You excited for season 2? Anything you want to see in season 2, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they go. I honestly was a little bit depressed at the end of this episode because I was on Harper's side. It was like, I understand. I know where you're coming from, that chip on your shoulder, trying to make it happen. But then you're just one of them. That's really what it is. And I wonder if we're going to see her devolve into that, or maybe, I don't know, that longing look over the city. Maybe she realizes, hey, I kind of screwed the pooch here. But again, she's going to be under Eric's wing. How legit
They have
can you be?
to move her to a different department after this. You would think. But then again, I would have thought they would have fired all these people for any of the little things they did in the season. But, oh well. All right, that's a wrap. I hope you feel all caught up and ready for the return of Industry on August 1st on HBO. I'm sure we will at least discuss the second season premiere at some point in August, along with so many other TV shows and movies, including the film Nope, the series finale of Better Call Saul, and the premiere of the Game of Thrones spin-off, House of the Dragon. You can find these episodes by following us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the blog, DoerDynasty.com. While the Twitch schedules is still a little bit hectic this summer, we often try to go live on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Twitch.tv/DoerDundancy. You can always follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, to know exactly when we are going live. That's at DoerDundancy. That's it for now. Thank you to Kyle and John. Kyle always with those hot takes. John, for taking this clip show, clipping it all together, getting it up into your podcast player. I couldn't do it without either of them. Until next time, I'm David Allen. Goodbye, everybody.